This podcast may contain adult language and themes, or it might not. We're not really sure. We haven't recorded it yet.
I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. And on this episode, that very special guest is AJ Hoffer. Welcome, AJ.
How's it going? It's good to be here.
It's great to have you on the program. Diggs, my friend, always a pleasure to see you.
How you doing?
AJ, for those who don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah. I am a Candy Factory member here with Jason and Diggs. Been here for a pretty long time and probably knows better than I do how long I've been here for. But it feels like my entire adult life because I don't think I really became an adult until my early 30s, which is about when I joined up. So it's probably my adult life.
I feel like 7 years. I feel like 7 years.
I think that's probably about right.
We have the official answer. It's many years.
Oh, it's many.
Many years. Okay. Yep. That's right. Then I am many years old.
Well,
officially.
it's great to have you here. If you're new to the program, the way it works is my iPad, his name is Frank. He's sitting right over there. Frank's going to dish up 5 random topics, and we're going to talk about each of those topics for 5 minutes each. Therefore, 5x5. It's the fastest 20. Let me start that again. It's the fastest 25 minutes in podcasting. And we do it right here in the Candy Factory. The Candy Factory, if you don't know, is a co-working and social club for everyone. It's a place in downtown Lancaster where you can come together with others, socialize. You can work. You can do it safely. You can get the hell out of the house during this bloody pandemic that just won't end. And we have membership levels all the way from $10 for a virtual membership through private desks. You can find out all the details. Coworkinginlancaster.com. Come and check it out. Schedule a tour. You could visit with 3 wild and crazy guys like us.
And I've been here for officially many years, and I just found out there was a massage chair. So come on down and sit down and get a massage.
Literally just
buy
before
a machine.
We went. Yeah, just before we went on. AJ was like, really? So you guys feeling good? Everybody ready?
Yeah.
I think so.
It's episode 45 of the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast. Here we go. Topic number 1, the Olympics. The Olympics. Yeah. Yeah. Timely this year, right? Because is it
happening? It's happening.
Mm-hmm. Ish, right? Well, it's happening, but I heard, tell me if this is true, that that Japan is only allowing Japanese spectators.
I don't think they're going to be. I'm not sure they're going to be that strict. I think you have to have, you need to have been there prior to the Olympics starting or something like that. I think they're not going to allow tourists in for the Olympics, but if you're an expat that's living there, I think you're good to go.
Got it. Oh, I see what you're saying. If you're, you may not be a citizen.
Yeah.
But as long as you have residence in Tokyo. Are you a fan, AJ? Where are you at with the Olympics?
I mean, I am a fan.
pro or con?
I can't say that I know if it's the summer or the winter Olympics that's happening this year. I'm a little thrown out of whack. Okay. So yeah, I am a fan. I usually enjoy the winter ones a little more.
Luge.
But
it's the luge, right?
Luge. But yeah, I like the summer. I like the volleyball, outdoor volleyball. But there's not I don't really get a big thrill out of just watching people run.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's fair. I remember when the Olympics were the same year. So there was a time when, you know what I mean, when the summer and the winter, it was the election year, the Olympic year, and leap year.
Yeah.
All 80, 84, 88, and it was just wow. Mm-hmm. Right? It's almost like you had to come down for a couple of years. You know what I mean? Those are big years.
Yeah.
And then at some point, right, they split. And admittedly, the last time I watched the Olympics, I think it was 1984. So,
yeah. I get into it when there's an American who's really, really good, like Katie Ledecky when she was the swimmer from the last Olympics, or Michael Phelps when he was doing his thing, or when there's controversy around it, or that really hot guy from the last one during the Olympic, the opening ceremony. there was that one guy from the one country that he went viral because he was just like a good looking guy.
Yeah.
People were like, I don't even know what he does. And I don't care. He was just, so yeah, I follow the memes of it more than the actual the sporting that happens.
That's where we've come to.
Yeah,
maybe memes should be an Olympic sport. I think we just
Yeah, I feel like we would probably do all right.
Summer or winter.
Oh, that's true.
Ooh. No, both, because you have to have like there's summer themed ones and winter themed ones. The trick will be, what do you do with like fall and spring? Like which one will they get put into for seasonal memeing?
Are there any sports that cross over? Like, are there any sports that happen in both the winter? No, there wouldn't be. Right?
I don't think so.
Think so.
I think there are sometimes sports when I'm like, oh, I thought that would have been in the
should have been in the other one.
Yeah, in the other one. Yeah.
Like what?
Like I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
well, this is gonna again. I admit that it's been a long time since I paid attention to the Olympics, so I'm not. This may be something that's so obvious, right? That you and anybody who's listening or watching this are just like, oh my god, get rid of this guy. Can you make that AJ guy the host and just get rid of this guy?
I'm going full time.
Yeah, but what do they do with the indoor? Like, I know the outdoor is obvious, right? Like the luge.
Yeah.
Is wrestling in the winter or the summer?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think like even
Summer.
swimming. Like yeah, I feel like it is kind of it's weather neutral. Like it doesn't matter.
That's right. Well,
unless they have
inside would be right.
Unless they have this swimming outdoor, which they don't. Like until they like show up in Japan, and they're like, all right, swimmers, we're going to be swimming in the ocean this time. A little, we're not going to do the indoor pool anymore.
Yeah,
this is full sized.
So wait. Can I? So you are you two advocating for like outdoor versus indoor Olympics, and that's the split?
No, I'm not advocating for everything. I'm first of all, it's a curiosity.
No. I am advocating for that. Yeah,
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
What I'm asking is that how do they decide which indoor sport belongs in which? Like the outdoor sports are obvious because it's warm or cold, right? You're not going to have track and field when it's 30 degrees outside, but
yeah.
But the indoors, like it's funny because basketball is a winter sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you think of the season.
It's winter for us.
Well, that's a good point too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Are American centric. Wait, are there other countries in the Olympics? I thought it was just like a U.S. versus
not
kind of thing.
Not in basketball, but
that's true.
In the other sports, yes.
Is basketball still just ridiculous? Because I remember when that happened, and it was like the dream team. It was like every NBA star,
right,
on the planet. Well, in the United States, was like on this all-star team, and they just went and just destroyed everybody.
They destroyed everybody. Oh my god!
I think it's gotten a little bit better, but I think it's
still basically that.
Yeah, it's still basically.
It's now that the NBA has done such a good job of recruiting from outside of the states that there are enough NBA players to go back to their home countries to play. Honestly, like I don't really think that. I mean, and I'm not a basketball person, so someone can correct me, but I don't think that the other leagues have gotten so much better. I think it's just that we're able to provide them players.
Well, unfortunately, the clock has run out on the Olympics, and it's time to move on to topic number 2.
I feel like we still have questions unanswered, but I guess that's part of the fun.
Sorry about that. We can't stop now. We got to go. So here's the topic number 2, those, quote, standing paddleboard things.
The SUPs.
Those standing paddleboard things. I don't know.
What's it called?
Did you
say the stand-up paddling, SUP, the SUPs?
No.
Is that...
No? It's going to take us 5 minutes.
Well, let's start there. Can we start there? Because I don't know what the hell that is either.
Yeah, go with that.
I think we're talking about the same thing. Stand-up paddleboard.
Yes, stand-up paddle. Standing paddleboard.
Yeah, I think it's stand-up paddleboard, SUP.
SUP.
I think we're talking about... I think so,
You tell me what it is.
I think it's like it's like a boogie board you stand on with a rowing.
Okay. Did I suggest this topic, Jason?
Sarah B suggested this topic.
Then I know. I know exactly what this is. I was like, I needed help. No, we were talking about, because our friend who's also been on the podcast. So Sarah's been on this podcast. Adriana has also been on the podcast. She did at one point she had a board that she used at work at Commonweal. Commonweal is just over here if you're not in Lancaster, so that's why I'm pointing over there. She had a board that was on like a rolling ball, and that was like she would balance on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we were talking about. And I just was like, this seems like a recipe for hurting yourself. Which also I think that stand-up paddle boards sound like a recipe to hurt yourself, but I'm also someone that doesn't swim. So
yeah, that's probably a prerequisite.
oh, thank you.
Yeah.
My mother's FaceTiming me.
Oh, she calling.
should
Does
bring
she
her
know what
in.
it is?
I keep not here I go. I can't.
She's worried about you.
So there was a great one of my favorite clips from when we were doing the short like outtake reels was the Amish guy calling. So I feel like this is just the new version of that.
It's exactly
I didn't know
what it
that
is.
you could have a call-in line on a podcast, but
You can. You actually can. Yeah, you actually
and
can.
only your mother knows how to do it.
That's right. The problem is that my Frank is set to do not disturb, but I think she's one of my favorites. And when they're one of your favorites, the call just comes in anyway.
Or if they like
my mom's
call,
my favorite.
I think you can do if they call in twice in a row. It's like, oh, maybe this is an emergency, and it bypasses that. Yeah.
Well, she's called like 6 times. So anyway,
She really loves you.
She does.
Maybe she wants to tell us about her paddleboard experience.
She paddleboarder?
Maybe
Is she a stand-up paddleboarder or a sit-down paddleboarder?
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to find out as soon as I call her back when the fastest 25 minutes of podcasting wraps up. So where are we on paddleboards? Are these things that people are sort of? It's not the Segway, right? It's not the.
Well, it's in the water.
A skateboard. Oh, this is a water thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was distracted. He was
water
distracted when we. Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. It's a water
thing. Let's pretend it's the fake Segway thing, because then so that Jason feels included.
Yeah, it's a fake Segway thing.
Do you know what I'm talking about? The fake Segway things.
It's surprisingly in the Winter Olympics, because you would think it would be in the Summer Olympics, but it's
inside?
It's indoor and outdoor, either one.
So they actually leave the door of the gym open, and they just go around a couple times and then shoot right out the door to the outdoor track. I think that's a fantastic idea.
It's interesting, yeah.
So there are these. I guess I'm talking about the hoverboard.
Yeah, that's what you're thinking of.
I mean, they're not really hoverboards, but they're called hoverboards. But they kind of look like.
Have you ever seen anyone paddle on one of these, Jason?
The hoverboard? No.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay, no, it's a great observation.
Yeah,
but for whatever reason, when the topic read those quote standing paddleboard unquote things,
okay,
my mind went to I have no idea what you're talking about with a water paddleboard. I can't even conceptualize that. A pedal boat is the closest thing I can get if you say water.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So my mind went to standing board,
like an Egyptian.
Yeah. That how they
the paddle part. This is how they stand.
This is what they hold on. They hold on up here,
right? And it just I just
they put their chin on the bar
like that. And I just was thinking that she was talking about those things that hover, those hoverboards. That's all.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I will say AJ did give a good explanation, and so you're just going to have to listen back to.
I'll go back and watch it again.
Bit of this episode.
Yeah. After I talk to my mom, which is going to happen here relatively soon. What are we on? Topic number 2, right? So I've got about 17 minutes till I call it back. And we are actually paddling toward topic number 3 right now.
Oh wow!
We're heading that direction. We are on the 10-second countdown to get the hell out of this train wreck of a topic that we were just on.
Let's just redo.
And here it comes.
All right.
Is everybody ready to dance?
So
I hope it goes better than this one. Yeah.
I thought that was great.
And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Topic number 3 on this episode's 5x5 is.
Will Jason know what it is?
Tour de FaceTime with mom. No, Tour de France.
Okay.
A lot of sports.
So, is cycling an Olympic sport? I don't know if it is.
I think a version of it is.
Perhaps our research department could find out for us whether or not cycling is an Olympic sport.
Don't they do the velodrome thing in the Olympics?
They do like some speed cycling things where they're like bent
with the crazy helmets.
They do that. Yeah. So there is some. So there we go. Cycling has been an official Olympic sport. Oh, since the first one, it's like the original. Wow.
Holy crap!
Cycling has been around since 1896. My mom has been calling me since 1897.
Nice.
So cycling has been around since 1896. So it was one of the OG, and we obviously don't pay attention to the Olympics.
No.
But wait. Wasn't Chariots of Fire wasn't there? Oh no, they just biked for the cross training. Never mind.
Yeah, he was a runner. I've never seen it, but I know he was a runner.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right, that was a runner.
Yeah,
Chariots of Fire was a runner. Has nothing to do with Tour de France.
No, there's a scene in it where they bike, and that's what my brain got confused with.
Well, it's like me and paddleboards, right?
Exactly.
It's like the cycling scene in Chariots of Fire.
The stand up paddling scene in Chariots of Fire. the deleted scenes. But about the Tour de France, I sound like a total American dork, but I only care when America is kind of kicking butt. But they're all on steroids now, so it's kind of like a fraudulent.
That really did go south, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Like that really just took a tank, and it was just sort of like, no, we all do it.
Well, I think, and it was the Lancaster guy, Floyd Landis. He was obviously Lance Armstrong cheated for years and years, but we only found out about him well after the fact. But Floyd Landis was kind of right away,
right?
And then was he caught or how? Never mind. Yeah,
it was like right after. I think it was like right after. I'm not 100% sure on the timeline. Yeah, so I think I feel like everyone's kind of just kind of like, whatever.
It's kind of gotten to that point where it kind of doesn't matter, right? Or is it still policed heavily?
To us.
To us.
Yeah. I'm fairly certain there's still a big like
I'm sure. Yeah.
The biking community still gives a damn. I don't know like what the policing mechanisms are like. Because like cyclists go through crazy training anyway, so I have a bad feeling that like so much of the stuff that they're doing that's legit could end up seeming like they're like doing that weird blood transfusion nonsense and whatever. Yeah. But like I've seen like there was a video when Lance Armstrong was still kosher of him training. Was it the Alps? I think, and just with a mask, I think, to like increase the blood flow and all that and the oxygenation of the blood through like that sort of crazy training. They're crazy. So I kind of don't blame them for using PEDs.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it a month long of just like hundreds of miles of just like
you're talking about the Tour de France?
Day after day.
Yeah. It's just I don't know, but I think you're right. Like it's one of those. Well, look at there. If only one of us had an electronic computing device at our fingertips with all the information ever in the entire universe.
But I think that's part of the reasons why it isn't that big in America is because it never ends. I mean, like there's no, and it's hard to tell even when you're watching it, like what's going on.
Oh my God!
It's not always clear who's winning or
right.
Like what's going on with that.
But then there are like multiple winners, and then it's like,
oh really?
Well, like because you get accolades for winning
like different legs or
a stage, yeah.
Oh,
so okay, it consists of 21 day-long stages over the course of 23 days, as our crack production assistant has just put. I shouldn't call you assistant. I'm sorry.
That's executive producer to you, Diggs.
The crack executive producer.
Like he stands by the crack part, but the rest of it he doesn't stand by.
Is it crack good? That's a good.
I don't. It probably is. It just. Yeah.
I mean, not the drugs, but the.
for those of you listening and not watching this, 2100 about 2150 miles, 21 day-long segments over a 23-day period. It's ridiculous.
It is nuts.
Oh, thank you.
I think when you get to a certain point with this sort of athleticism, the body just wasn't built for it, right? It's sort of like the NFL. You watch the old NFL back in the 40s and 50s with the leather helmets. right? And then you even fast forward to like the 60s and 70s, and there's just, it's almost like a compared to now, like this gentleman's game, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, it just increases the violence and the hits and the speed and all that stuff just increases till you reach a point where there's like this threshold of absurdity that you cross.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no wonder, guys sustaining 3 or 4 concussions. I mean, we were at a Pittsburgh Steelers game, I guess last year, 2 years ago now. And the quarterback got literally knocked out. He unconscious while falling to the turf. It was the backup quarterback to Ross. It's insane.
I just want to say that I think they should just have not tested for anything for the Tour de France. No. Like, if we all know they're doing it anyhow and everybody's doing it, let's just kind of like sweep it under the rug and move along.
Be done with it. Well,
let us have our good memories of American exceptionalism just for a little bit long. I'm totally joking. We
have crossed the finish line for topic number 3, and it's time to move on to topic number 4, which is your favorite pizza topping. Your favorite pizza topping.
Oh.
Ooh. Pepperoni.
Who said pepperoni?
Yeah. Me. Yeah. It's classic. It's always good.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Unless you don't eat meat, then I apologize.
And that is the situation that I find myself in as a vegetarian who loves pizza. There really aren't any good vegetarian pizza toppings. Like, I don't like. I don't like mushrooms. I don't like onions. I don't like peppers. Like,
well, no. So okay, no. You got to back that up. It's not that there aren't good vegetarian pizza toppings. It's just that you don't like any of them.
Yeah, that's why they're not good. I don't like them. Ergo, they're not good.
Oh, he busted out the Latin. He must be right.
Yeah. But I feel like even so, like, I think I should say that there isn't any on par with pepperoni,
right,
or like ham or sausage, because they have that salty,
right,
that salty meat is just it just goes with it so well.
Yeah. How long have you been vegetarian?
I think it's been maybe 2 years. I think. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And I've had a couple. I probably have had pepperoni more often than any other meat, because sometimes my kids they'll have pizza pockets, and I'll just like fling a couple little bites in my mouth, and that'll have pepperoni in it, or I'll just eat some leftover pizza of theirs that I don't see pepperoni on it, so I'll have it, and it is better. Like, it's a noticeable improvement.
Yeah.
And I can immediately tell that there's pepperoni in a bite, because it's like, oh wow, that's way better.
So your cheat meat is pepperoni, is what I'm hearing.
My what?
Your cheat meat.
My cheat meat? Yeah. Pepperoni.
That's the one.
But I would say sausage is probably the number 2, even though I don't eat it and can't have it. After like sausage and ham, they're probably my backups.
Got it.
The meat, all the meat lovers basically is what I would go for.
Right. All right. So let me ask you a question. Mushrooms are mine, and I know that you both hate them. Whatever. I'm already over that comment. So, but the question that I have for you is, are there any of these fancy, these sort of premium fancy pizzas that come out? Okay. When you're a kid, it's cheese, pepperoni, right? It's like, that's all it is. And now, pizza's like everything else, like coffee, like beer, like over the last 20 years, it's become this gourmet craft thing.
With all asking us what IPA in the pizza world we like.
Exactly. Right. I feel like that on the forefront of this, on the front wave of this movement, was the Hawaiian pizza. Like,
I think that's, I think that the quote unquote craft pizza, if it is a thing, would have been in rebellion to Hawaiian pizza.
No, hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
You misunderstood what I'm saying. What I'm saying is not the forefront, like it's the best. Like somebody did that. Like in the 90s, someone said, let's do a Hawaiian pizza with pineapple and ham. And then a couple people liked it. And then that started the whole what
else?
You could do
why
something
stop there?
Yeah, you can do something beyond just pepperoni or, mushrooms and onions, that kind of thing. I feel like that on the forefront, meaning it started this, it opened this door.
The Pandora's box of pizza just opened up. And was that true? I mean, I feel like I've always had like Hawaiian pizza has always been available to like as an option to me. I never had it, but I'm saying like when I was a kid, like I knew people who had Hawaiian pizza. So what was it like in the 60s? I don't know when you were born, or 60s and 70s. Like were there even options back then?
Well,
because like if you go back then and order a beer, there was basically you have four different cans. So what was it like in the 70s or?
Well, I remember back like when I was stationed at Pearl Harbor in the early 40s. Now there was
was there Hawaiian pizza there? That was
Hawaiian pizza. Yeah, we were introduced.
Okay.
No. No, like in the 70s and 80s, it was, when we had the Italian pizza shop, right? We didn't have like a chain store in the little town I lived in. So it was just Enzo's, right? It was just that the typical, Italian restaurant that has the real thick, crusty bread on the subs and that sort of thing. And it was standard. It was just like, you got the pepperoni, cheese. What?
I've been to Chatham. I'm sorry. So if you're not watching this, we just learned that. Well, previously we learned that Hawaiian pizza was introduced in Canada in 1962, but it was introduced at a place that I've actually been to in Ontario. Chatham, Ontario is like a small town, like an hour, 15 minutes northeast of Detroit, in the tail of Ontario. My friend from college lived there for a few years, working for R.M. Sotheby's. So I have been to the birthplace of Hawaiian pizza, and I didn't know where the place was to spit on it. So.
Well,
I never got to hear what pizza was like in the 70s.
Doesn't matter. We've taken the last bite. We've taken the last bite of topic number 4 of this episode's 5x5. On to the final topic, which is Hacky Sack.
Oh.
Hacky Sack.
Is that actually popular in? I'm not going to make an assumption. I'm going to look it up. Okay, so what the question I was going to ask was: is it actually popular in Hawaii? Because that is the
Hacky Sack
stereotype. Yeah, like the surfer dude, like beach bro nonsense.
I don't know if that's a stereotype of Hawaii.
No. I'm not saying it's like a massive stereotype. I'm not saying all Hawaiians play hacky sack. It's just that hacky sack was popular in Hawaii.
Gotcha.
That's what
guess so.
I'm going to see if I'm correct, but talk amongst yourselves.
I don't think hacky sack has ever been popular in my lifetime. Like it's maybe popular in the way that like we all got into yo-yos when I was in 5th grade for 2 months. Like we all did hacky sacks. We all had a hacky sack.
Right, you got them as a stocking stuffer when you started to reach that age where your parents didn't quite know what to give you, and they would walk through that store and be like, "This looks like a 12-year-old would like," and they give you a hacky sack.
Right.
Yeah, but you didn't really master it. To me, hacky sack was it. I get what you're saying, Diggs. Like it was sort of a California, Venice Beach kind of like that's like the sort of image. That's kind of the image you get, like the surfer guy or whatever.
Yeah, and I'm realizing I mixed up. That's what I was going to say. Is like I realized that I mixed up because to me, like growing up, honestly, like I honestly thought Hawaii was way closer to the U.S. to the mainland U.S. than it actually is. I kind of thought that like Hawaii was the tail of California because it was just water and surfing, and that's all I knew. I didn't know.
That makes sense.
California to Hawaii.
Right. Yeah. I mean, which on a paddleboard.
Take the ferry over.
Right. Yeah.
You take that. There's like a channel you take, and it just zips you right from one to the other. Yep.
Oh my God! Wait. Speaking of boats, I know this is not the topic at all, but can we just laugh at the Suez Canal for 2 seconds? And
that big old boat.
How did that happen?
There's a boat. Fill me in.
There's a boat that's just jammed in a river. It's just stuck there. It's huge.
It's stuck in the Suez Canal.
What kind of boat is it?
A tanker.
Like as big as they get. Yeah.
Not like a pontoon.
No.
Okay. No. It's not like my Uncle Frank got stuck on the sand.
That's why your mom's calling.
She was telling you the news. No, it's like it's literally like holding up world like the world is being held up by this boat, and
your Amazon delivery is going to be delayed because the Suez Canal.
And I had ordered in anticipation of summer. I ordered 3 new hacky sacks from Amazon.
Oh my!
And I was wondering where the hell they were.
They're stuck down in Egypt.
But no, hacky sacks to me were sort of a college thing. Hacky sack was
high school.
It was something that sort of came into when people were gathering in communal places like in college. There was always all the campuses have that the quad.
The quad, yeah.
right? And
Yep.
Did you know that the quad is just 4 buildings? Like it's
Yeah.
like with the. I just found that out.
That's kind of what I assumed. I didn't never actually.
Yeah, no, I actually looked it up.
Yeah.
I was like, why the hell are these people calling this the quad? Yeah. And it turns out that it's like an architectural planning thing, right? Where you have, 4 buildings surrounding a big. Diggs is like, he's like, I can't believe you don't know this, and I can't believe you don't know about the Suez Canal.
No. I was gonna say that I feel like Hacky Sack was the same time it would be like you'd either be doing frisbee, Hacky Sack,
Right.
Trying to do soccer. I couldn't do soccer.
There's just
so
like disc and these beanbag balls flying everywhere.
It's that summer, meet you on the quad, hanging out. A bunch of us get together in a circle, start doing the Hacky Sack thing.
So for Hacky Sack, I've actually never done it. Like, is it a game or do you just like do it? Like,
So-
is there?
Yeah, I mean, and Hacky Sack, as was pointed out a little bit earlier, is like the Kleenex of foot bags.
Okay.
Hacky Sack is actually a brand name.
Okay.
So we just call them all Hacky Sacks now. But so there's not really a game to it, but the whole idea, at least the Hacky Sack culture that I was embedded in, was that
The East Coast Hacky Sack.
there was this, right? Yeah, we were East Coast Hacky Sackers. We would meet in Chicago and throw down with our West Coast brethren. But no, it was like a. The whole point of it was that you wanted to get a hack, and a hack was that everybody in the circle successfully touched the Hacky Sack before it hit the ground. So that was sort of the goal. So as the circle grew, you'd end up with sometimes 10 or 12, maybe even 15 people around a circle. To get a hack was pretty challenging. Okay. But it's sort of like it's not really a competitive sport. Like one of the etiquettes was you weren't allowed to say sorry. So like even if you tossed the bag to somebody to serve it and you totally screwed it up, and you know what I mean, it was like you don't say you're sorry. You know what I mean? Because everybody's just sort of hanging. It's very kumbaya, very hippie.
Gotcha. So then what do? You just
serve it, and then everybody kicks it and keeps it off the ground, and you try to get a hack.
No, not that. What do you do? What do you do instead of saying sorry?
You just move on.
You just move on. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Did you give like a little bow?
There was no namaste or anything like that. No, it was just
it
was just.
That's it.
In any event, the Hacky Sack unfortunately has hit the ground on this episode of 5x5.
Like the boat.
Just like the boat. Just that a Hacky Sack is like a boat. AJ Hoffer. I don't know what.
It's probably Hoffer. I'm not exactly sure.
You should change your name legally to probably Hoffer. My family doesn't pronounce it the same from person to person, so okay. There's Hoffer, there's Huffer. It depends on who you talk to. I say Hoffer. But you say Hoffer, I say Hoffer.
You can say whatever you want.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show. Hope to have you back soon. Diggs, my friend, always a pleasure.
Thank you.
And for everybody who tuned in today to watch or listen to the program, we thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time on 5 by 5. The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast
is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. 5x5 video can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Subscribe to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is recorded at the studios of the Candy Factory,
a co-working campus in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
The show is produced and hosted by Jason Mundock,
along with co-host Robert Diggs.
Editing and additional production by Anna Tran.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast
are solely those of the expressor.
The Candy Factory is not in any way responsible if anyone said something stupid.
Our theme music was composed
and recorded by a really cool guy.
Really cool guy
named John Chin.
Relevant links and show notes
can be found on the show post
at our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Maybe that's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Candy Factory
Collective.